hopefully I'm sharing things that you can learn from, like that you can use. What is up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Brandy, and as you can tell from my channel name, I read a lot of books, and that's typically what I talk about on my channel is books that I've been reading lately. I do reviews, reading vlogs, all that fun stuff. However, I also write, and I have been working on my WIP, my work in progress, for a while now. I was actually going to go through and see. It'll tell you how long you've been working on your manuscript, you know, when you created the document, and I was going to let you guys know how long I've been working on this. I don't know that it's going to happen in this video, probably not. It'll probably happen in a later writing vlog, but I am bound and determined to finish this freaking manuscript because it's been looming over my head for too long now. I'm sure it's probably been years that I've been working on this. Time, the way that it dilates in my brain, I always think it's been less time than it actually has. All the time I'm talking to people, this will happen like with my mom a lot, where I say something like, oh yeah, a couple weeks ago, and she was like, no, that was a couple of months ago. Or I'll be like, oh yeah, last year when da-da-da, and she's like, no, that was like 5 years ago. So I always think that I've spent less time on something, on a project, than I actually have. So I'm on chapter 30 of this manuscript. It's the third manuscript that I'm working on, so I've finished 2 before this one. The first one, I don't know if I've told that story. I guess I could tell it now while I'm looking this up. My first manuscript I finished in 2017 in the summer, and shopped it around to different literary agencies. So I queried 100 different literary agencies. I think I've told this story before, but if this is the first video of mine that you're clicking on, then welcome, and I will retell you the story. So, you know, queried it around and was shot down, you know, rejected. All of those times, there were a few people who emailed me back, like an actual personal, like typed email that wasn't like a bot saying, you know, this isn't for us, but thanks, you know, for sending us your stuff kind of email. There were a few very few who did say like, this is great, we really like this, but the market is not hopping right now. The market does not want young adult dystopia anymore. It's burnt out, so it's not the right time. So that was good advice. It let me know, you know, that I needed to kind of shelve that one for a while and come back to it at a later date. So that first manuscript, I don't even know. I think it's at the top of my closet right now, collecting dust, and it'll stay there for however many years it needs to. I could totally self-publish. I could put it up on, you know, on Amazon. I could make it into an ebook. You know, I could do all of that. I'm very stubborn, and I have it in my head that I want to go the traditional publishing route, meaning you query to a literary agency, and then they auction the book off. You know, they sell it to whatever publishing house may want it, and you do everything in the traditional sense. Now, that is rare that actually happens, like that people who just randomly query unsolicited manuscripts actually get picked up and published. I think I've read a statistic, it's somewhere around 1%. So my odds are not good. The cards are definitely stacked against me, but I'm gonna shelve that one, and in, you know, 5, 10, however many years, if that genre kind of picks back up again, then I'll, you know, query it around again. So, and then we'll see what happens there. I just realized how zoomed out that clip was, so sorry that I look like I'm a million miles away. But anyway, we are at the wall of index cards. I have explained this like once before. I think it was in my second writing vlog. I'm going to take a step back because I don't want you to see, like, that's basically the entire plot of the novel. But essentially I write, and some of them I can fit 2 chapters on, like those 3 up here. Oh, these 3 up here, I fit multiple chapter summaries on, like this one right here. You can see there's like 2 different ones. But essentially I put a chapter summary on the index cards. So each index card covers roughly 1 chapter, and it's just a way for me to keep track of where I am. Now, this looks a little bit different than it has in the past. Ideally, once I've finished the outline, which is just like a big long manuscript of, you know, just the gist of what I'm trying to say, I will try to break it down chapter by chapter, put all of the cards for every chapter on the wall, and then like highlight or mark off, cross out, whatever as I go. So essentially, when I'm ready to start a new chapter, say I'm writing chapter 16, I can just go up, pull the chapter 16 card off the wall, take it over to my laptop, and be like, okay, here's, you know, the entire chapter summarized into a paragraph, and so now I have to expand that paragraph into an entire chapter and add all the details and the dialogue and, you know. But with this one, it's a little bit different. It went off the rails pretty early, like not even halfway through, I think. And so I've had to, I'm basically pantsing it the rest of the way. So this time, every time that I finish a chapter, when I finish writing it, then I fill out an index card and tape it up on the wall. So that's how this has been a little bit different this time. And I guess I'm explaining that because that might be useful to you. It basically is just a time saver. So instead of having to, like if I take, you know, a couple weeks break and I haven't written anything and I'm like, I don't remember what the last thing was that I talked about, instead of having to go back through and read like the whole last chapter or several chapters, I can just go over to the wall and read like 5-10 sentences of summary and then be like, oh yeah, that was the last thing that I wrote. And so that helps me stay on track and it just saves me time. The whole point of these writing vlogs is just to try to give you guys some sort of, I don't even want to say advice. I don't even know that I like want to give advice or I'm in a position to give advice. If you are still in like the first draft phase or you've never completed a manuscript before, hopefully I'm sharing things that you can learn from, like that you can use, that will make the process of writing your novel a little bit quicker and easier and less hellish. Yeah. I hope that you enjoy the vlog. That was a ridiculously long intro. Let's get some writing done. Alright guys, I'm popping on for an update because I'm getting to the point where I don't really feel like continuing. I always reach this point at some stage in the writing process where I'm like, it would be so much nicer, especially since it's the weekend, it's a Sunday today, to just watch YouTube or pick up the book that I started. I started Han Kang's The Vegetarian, and I'm really liking it so far. It's a translated novel. You'll probably see a reading vlog of that, maybe even before this video. So anyway, and I feel kind of like, I mean, I had caffeine this morning, but I've got a little bit of a headache starting, and I'm trying to not let that be an excuse for me to stop. I've got a couple of paragraphs start, like at the beginning of this chapter, and I know where I'm going, but I'm at that stage where I kind of want to stop, but I haven't really gotten that much accomplished. So I'm gonna just keep going, kind of fight through this headache, maybe take some medicine or drink some more coffee, and see what else I can come up with. Good evening, guys. So I have had dinner. I just made myself some pasta. Boyfriend and I went on a nice walk. And it is dark now, thanks to daylight savings time. So that's fun. I am watching a film that I think I've mentioned before is a big inspiration for the manuscript. So I'm gonna watch that, kind of keep it on in the background, try to write. I'm probably gonna get distracted by it, but I'm gonna try to write and finish this chapter 30 that I'm working on while it's playing. So we'll see how that goes.
Going out in style. One older brother had to go and screw it up.
Truffle shuffle time.
First you gotta do the truffle shuffle. Come on! Do it! Come on! Do it! Cut it out, Mom.